What's up, everyone? We got the Lions season review here. I got the Lions 23rd in the power rankings, a little lower, actually quite a bit lower than a lot of people are going to have them. I think they were fine this year, but I think we really saw towards the end of the year the team they really were. A team that lost pretty big in a deciding game in the NFC Championship against the Packers and kind of got their butts kicked against Seattle. A team that's pretty far away, in my opinion. So let's take a look at the roster here. Stafford stays about the same, goes down, I think just a few spots, as do most quarterbacks in my roster. He definitely impressed me this year. Extended plays a lot better than I've ever seen him, but definitely still some inconsistencies and flaws in his game when it comes to uh, really knowing when to push the ball downfield and just some other things, pocket awareness, yada yada. But still definitely a solid player, definitely a quarterback you can win a Super Bowl with. Don't see them moving on from Stafford anytime soon. And then at running back, just some interesting guys. No one that's really taken hold of the run here. Theo Riddick was solid, but definitely just a receiving back. Does not have the between the tackles size. Amir Abdullah is going to get interesting. He was awesome in his first game of the year, and I think he's still got a good chance to take this job for himself. And then on to the receivers. Uh, Moving down just a little bit, both Golden Tate and Marvin Jones. Golden Tate kind of at the top of his potential, in my opinion. Definitely fits the bill of a slot receiver. Does get downfield a little bit more than your traditional slot receiver, but a solid player, very shifty. I had to increase his elusiveness and jukes and agility. And then Marvin Jones, a very solid number two. Definitely calmed down after a very hot start. His rating comes down just a little bit. I think he was an 84, but 81 as a number two. But that said, Golden Tate is more of a slot guy, so the Lions could still use a true number one. Would definitely take this offense to the next level. And on that mark, the Lions run a very, very much a horizontal offense. It's a ton of screens, quick passes, a lot of pick routes, which I've expressed my opinions on Twitter. I do not like the trend of teams doing pick routes. But these guys are able to run that scheme very well. A lot of quick burst, and then Anquan Bolden still kicking. He's got such great hands, so physical. But yeah, I think that, the Lions could definitely use both some more depth and true number one would definitely help out Detroit. And then at tight end, Eric Ebron kind of finally emerged, and I think he's going to continue to get better. He was an awesome player. Reminds me a lot of Jordan Reed. Probably doesn't block quite as much, but a very nice player. And then the offensive line, their improvement this year was a big reason why Detroit was successful. Taylor Decker was great. Awesome run blocker and was good job protecting the backside. The interior of the line could use some work. Laken Tomlinson has not panned out. Swanson's fine. And then Larry Warford, I'm always surprised by his rating. He's been a liability multiple times as a pass protector, which as a guard, if you're a liability as a pass protector, it's you're not long for this league. He really gets bowled over by bigger D tackles, and it happened multiple times. So I think he's probably going to get replaced. And then Riley Reef, I moved up. He's a very good run blocker. So they have the tackles and the center, which is the hardest part to get. But I do think the guards will continue to be worked at, but probably no top draft picks being invested there. Onto the D line, Kerry Hyder emerged, but I did move his rating down just a little bit. He was still pretty inconsistent. His sacks were kind of sporadic, but definitely going to be a factor next season. Devin Taylor goes up, so those two guys will be sharing playing time, and then Zeke Ansah goes up. He was dropped pretty low. I know he was fighting injuries all season, so I had to move him back up. But again, kind of a disappointing season for Ansah. I think I had him as like a 91 at the start of the season. Lodi Nada goes up. He's still got it. He's still one of the better interior linemen, so I move him up. And then some decent depth here as well. And then the linebackers is kind of a weak spot on this defense. Josh Bynes and Tahir Whitehead, just kind of replacement level guys. And then DeAndre Levy, I moved up just a little bit, but he was not really the same guy when he finally came back. But give him a full year to recover, and I think he's the kind of guy that's going to bounce back. But the other two linebackers could definitely be improved. This defense as a whole was very solid this year. It didn't take till the second half of the year till they started getting respected. But this was a defensive first team, in my opinion. They got a lot of credit for the offense, which when you watch this team, it was the defense that was keeping them in games. And then miraculous fourth quarter play by the offense that caught a lot of attention. But Darius Slay, man, this guy's a freak. He's one of the best corners in the game. Super athletic and has a nose for the football. Both him and Glover Quinn go up. These guys are just playmakers. Glover Quinn was like an 81, and he's one of the better safeties in the game. And then some good depth at corner as well. I mean, all these guys kind of made an impact throughout the year. And then at strong safety, Tavon Wilson, solid. Again, another guy with a nose for the football. These guys really were in the secondary, all of them, just kind of flying around, making tackles. I had to note pretty much all of these guys as I was watching tape. So, the pursuit and tackling, very good on this team. So, yeah, that's it for Detroit. Again, a team that's, I think, going to digress next year just because they had so many games that they pulled out really out of nowhere at the end of late in games, fourth quarter comebacks, which it's hard to keep that up. But definitely some good players on this roster as well. So next up, we got the Green Bay Packers. So we'll see you for that.